nine, ignition sequence, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Not to get off track here, but I feel like we're in the Truman Show, and we're in a snow globe, and they just shook it up.
Welcome to reality.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jeranism Monday Night Raw, the current, reigning, defending, and unquestionable #1 show on True Frequency Radio on Monday nights between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 to 11 Eastern. I'm your host, Jeran from Jeranism, and my co-host is none other than David Weiss. David, how are you this fine Monday?
Just David Weiss. That's all I get today?
Yeah, I shortened it up.
Ah, very nice. Doing fantastic on this fake tax day. Beautiful day here on the East Coast.
Fake tax day. I like that. All right. Awesome to hear. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. We do appreciate it, as always. Big thank you to everyone. Also, a special thank you, as always, to all my patrons. Without them, my channel and this show would not exist as it does. So I always like to give a big thank you to all my patrons. To join them, you can check out patreon.com/Jeranism. Or to donate in other ways, you can easily support this channel and this show using PayPal at paypal.me/Jeran. And if you're one of the cool kids who use Venmo, you can find me by searching for @Jeranism. So, and if you can't support monetarily, I always like to mention that too. Simply share any of my videos that you like and click the thumbs up button below any of those videos that you enjoy. I greatly appreciate it and appreciate everyone's support. So thank you all so much. Hello to everyone in the TFR chat and in Ginger Sugarbush 905's chat. And to everyone listening, no matter where you might be. I know a lot of people listen on iHeartRadio, and I never give a shout-out to the iHeartRadio fans, so thank you for listening if you're listening on iHeartRadio. Wherever you might be tuning in, welcome to the show. Lots to discuss, as always. Let's see, where do we want to start? Just so everybody knows, the format of the show is David and I, we shoot the ship for about an hour, talk flat earth and other subjects, and then in the second hour, we take your calls. So if you have questions, ideas, thoughts, or just want to say hi, and you want to get in line, give us a call. Get on the call board now, 213-233-3998, or you can wait till the second hour. It's up to you. That's the plan, and as always, I do hope you enjoy our show. I had a few videos. Are a little bit slowed down. Are you going to get back on the horse soon?
They come in spurts. I had noticed that also.
Tough to do.
It needs to be condensed down to 5 minutes because, to get some people that won't watch it because it's just too much. But
so much good information, and if people don't know, I did a live stream this week with Travis from Life is Short. Check that out on my channel. I believe it's called Angular Resolution, Perspective, and Refraction. But he does a great little hour-long, or maybe 2 hours, I guess, a little presentation, like a little...
2.5 hours.
Well, but it's about a half hour of me introing it.
Oh, so. Okay. It was fascinating. I actually listened for a second time today, and I was thinking about it. It's like, when I went to college, I don't remember a course with that much information in it. Yeah, it was amazing. I watched Nathan Thompson he was doing some street activism, and he was at Cambridge University. I'm not sure what university he was at, some university. Mm-hmm. And there was a triggered physics student, and Nathan was just schooling this guy, and the only argument the guy had is, well, where'd you get your degree? Where'd you get your degree?
Right.
And the more the guy talked, the more I realized that his education is complete and utter nonsense.
Well, that's the problem that we have to deal with, and I don't know how you really combat that because, they've convinced all these people. And again, I don't like to take anything away from anybody who's went to school and gotten an education. I don't want to take anything away from them and say, hey, everything you learned is bullshit. But it's all by design. And that's the hardest part about it. So these people who go through this whole process and learn the ideas of physics and everything, they become very good at just repeating what they were told. And it's a great way to perpetrate a hoax, if you will. It's just people are going to continue to spout that stuff, and then they're going to ask me the question I always get asked, where's your college education? Where's your credentials? And like I said before, if I had those credentials, then I probably wouldn't be a flat earther, not because, not for any other reason other than if you're going through the whole school process, you are learning to keep quiet. You are learning not to question the professors. Right. That's not where you get off. You don't. Go ahead.
You graduate through a physics program. Am I coming through all right? Because I'm hearing some static.
I'm hearing some choppiness too, but don't know why.
All right. So you get through a physics program not by coming up with new ideas, by memorizing and regurgitating, and that's it. I mean, if you memorize everything, learn what's in those textbooks, and can basically teach it to somebody else, you get an A.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you don't get rewarded for bucking the system, for being original, for thinking outside the box. You don't. That's not how you get rewarded in school, and I think a lot of us know that for sure. I mean, that's why I became. I don't know. I just became frustrated with the whole schooling program and the system, and the way that you're not rewarded for out of the box thinking. And that's everyone who's ever found something or discovered something was always an out-of-the-box thinker. They weren't somebody who said, this is the way things are, this is how they go, there is no deviation from this, now what can you get? Well, those people aren't going to discover anything new and exciting. They're just going to be complacent, run-of-the-mill kind of students, and I think that's what happens here. And so, yeah, I mean, these astrophysicists are all going to believe wholeheartedly in what they were taught. And then you've got Neil deGrasse. I've put him in a couple of my recent videos where he's saying that you no longer use your senses to decide what makes sense. The universe is what it is, and that's just whether you like it or not. Period.
Do you listen to Quantum Conscience? That's the channel. The guy that basically he's talking about the book he's writing every day.
No, I can't say that I know that channel.
It's Quantum Consciousness, I think. Somebody put it in the chat on TFR. Not TFR, on Ginger Sugarbush. I'm spacing on his name, but it's like Matt. Quantum Consciousness is the name of the channel. You've seen the guy, and he just does these rants from his office chair, and he was talking about just the ridiculousness of everything. One of the things he said, which I didn't know, was Elon Musk took astrophysics and dropped out 3 days into the course before he started PayPal. And then he went to Congress and said, I'm going to take over NASA. I need, $500 billion or whatever the number was. And he's like, did the investors say, what is your space experience? And he's like, well, I took 3 years or three days of physics, at some great university. Well, it must be good. And they just hand him all the money. It's complete and total nonsense, just like everything else that's major.
Yeah, he's got no physics background at all.
And he took over. He just out of nowhere. He did that. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. And the fact that the book that Werner von Braun wrote in 1957 or 9,
right,
about Elon, the guy that's taking over Mars,
right.
What is this world that we are living in, Jeran?
I don't know. It's scary.
It's not scary. Stop that. It's crazy. It's scary.
It's scary crazy.
It's not scary. It's definitely not scary. Man. It's fascinating. And it's bizarre.
I think it's scary because people have accepted the idea of concepts as being truth. All these things are concepts, and we could get into the issue with the black hole, right? So for people who don't know, this week came an image from some advanced telescope network where they used, and depends on the article you find. I found an article that says 6 telescopes. I found another one that says 8. Found another one that says 10. Who knows how many it is? But basically what they're saying is in order to see this far, which is, by the way, 321 quintillion miles, okay, that's how far away this black hole that they supposedly took an image of is away from us, which is just ridiculous in and of itself. But in order for them to take an image of this thing so far away, they say, there's no telescope on Earth that's powerful enough to do so, but we put a couple out there in different locations, and then combining all the images is like having an Earth-sized telescope. I've just never heard anything such nonsense before. As if, you're in New York, I'm in California, as if we could both go out and look with our telescopes and then say, well, our telescope is as big as the United States because we've got this network of 2 telescopes. That's basically what they're saying.
Crazy.
But it's all concepts. I mean, Einstein put forward ideas like the fabric of space-time. I mean, people get so lost in this, they think that means that there is a fabric of space-time, that there's something bendable, that there's something that is, that's the way he describes the moon. The moon is in orbit of the Earth because its mass is bending space-time.
But we know space-time is complete bullshit because Mitch proved it the other day on the beach. Did you see that?
Mitchell from Australia.
Mitchell, who's every guy from Australia. There's only one guy in Australia. And
that's true.
Today we call him Mitchell.
Okay, or Mitch.
But Mitch, yeah.
Right.
So he tested it and it had no effect.
Right. Well, and I loved his quote. Did you hear his quote?
What was his quote?
His quote was about the vacuum of space, and he said, he says, nature abhors a vacuum. I totally agree. There's no naturally occurring vacuum anywhere in the world. And so he said, if men never existed on Earth, there would be no such thing as a vacuum. And man, I was like, wow, you're absolutely right. That it is another concept. It's another idea formed in the minds of these mathematicians. And this is the problem, is that they taught everybody, once you learn 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, that's mathematics. That they would consider that. I mean, I guess it's more, I don't know, what would you call it instead of mathematics? It's more, what's the word I'm looking for? No, like 1 + 1, arithmetic.
Okay.
Right, and arithmetic, you can't disagree with that. I mean, 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, that's great. But they taught everybody about that. That's math. It's proven. Here you go. Put an apple and another apple, and now it's 2. And they just kind of carried that through, and they expect everybody, and everybody does, believe that anything that is centered around mathematics must have been proven already. That it is proven that when you talk about, the equations for general relativity work. Well, it does. It's not the same as 1 + 1 = 2. These are concepts, and like I described in my video about are we spinning? I've heard a physicist before say you can make an equation that says that an elephant can hang from a blade of grass off the edge of a cliff. So an equation can say anything. It doesn't make it true. And I don't know how you get convinced people that that's the case, because now, and when I say it's scary, it's because we're so far gone into this world where people believe that those concepts are real. That these concepts are actual things. It's nonsense. I mean, when you talk about a field of space and they're saying, this field, people have to understand that is only a concept. So can concepts ever affect physical matter? No, it's nonsense.
Unless they were real.